that's a little unique to my blog. I wanted to do a little craft tutorial for you guys on a unique folding card, and I'll kind of show you what I mean by that. I have 3 reasons why I want to do this for you guys. Because first of all, I love crafting. I love all things paper crafting, painting, scrapbooking, all of that stuff. And the second thing is because even though my blog is focused on marriage, I feel like this card is actually just like a small way of benefiting your marriage and strengthening it, because it's kind of a unique, fun way to give a card to your spouse and to give them like a love note. And then third, because I didn't find this card anywhere on the internet, and I think it's kind of unique, and I just really want to share it with you guys. But first, a little background. I made this clear back in elementary school when I was in 5th grade, and I remember making it with construction paper, and I remember loving it so much that I went home and made tons of them for my friends and family, and then I forgot about it for a couple years until I was going through all of my grade school little projects and things like that, and I found it. And so I made one for my husband for Valentine's Day a couple years ago. So with it being Valentine's Day coming up, I wanted to make it for you guys and show you how to do it on your own at home. And the nice thing is you can make this cheap. You can make it with stuff that you have at home, or you can go all out. You can go to the craft store and buy embellishments. You can buy really cool paper. But I'm just going to start with the basics of how to put it together. And yeah, so I'll show you guys how it looks. Okay, so this is the one that I gave to my husband. As you can tell, it's definitely decked out in embellishments and stuff. I made it kind of personal, and the thing I like about this card is it kind of tells a story almost. So I'll just kind of show you. I'll go through it really quick, and then I'll kind of go through it again. So it opens from the front, then opens from the middle, then opens from the middle again. That's the back page. And then there's a front page again. So kind of crazy, huh? And really it's just 2 pieces of cardstock together. And you've just glued it together in a certain way and cut it in a certain way and then just embellished it. So I like to think of this as the front cover of a story, and then it opens and then there's the first page. And see how I wrote all this stuff, and I even put a picture. This is kind of weighed down by a lot of embellishments, but it's still fun to do. And then the second page is kind of fun because I was able to tell another part of a story, or just do some cutesy embellishment stuff. I lost the I on there. And then it opens to the last page, and it's just a final little note I wrote to my husband. And I like it because it's fun little mixtapes, you know. And then it goes back to the front. So you don't have to embellish it like this. Again, I'm just going to show you how to do a quick version of it with just kind of plain cardstock so that you can have fun with it yourself. So one of the supplies that you'll need for this magical folding card is going to be 2 pieces of paper. Printer paper is going to be a little bit more flimsy just because it's thin, but it still works great. This is cardstock that I'm using. It's a little bit more sturdy. This one has a texture on it. And the one that I made for my husband has even designs on it. So for Valentine's, it had hearts and arrows on both the front and back. But for this tutorial, I'm just going to show you with 2 plain colored cardstock, just so it is more understandable, 1 color on each side. All you need to do with those pieces of paper is just cut it into a square. Both of them need to be the same size. So it kind of doesn't matter whatever size you do as long as they're in squares. For this one, I did an 8-inch by 8-inch square for both of them. And the one that I made for my husband was 12 inches by 12 inches. You can even do 3.5 by 3.5 inches. As long as both pieces are the same size and in a square, then you're good. The other thing that you'll need is some sort of adhesive. I really like my tape runner just because it's just really easy to kind of glide on there. And you can use glue, you can use tape, you can use a glue stick, whatever type of adhesive you have, even if it's just super glue or Gorilla Glue. So essentially what we're doing with the card is we're gluing the pieces on top of each other. And then, but where we're gluing is just in the 4 corners. And the pages have to have a slit. That's what helps it move well. So I'm going to kind of show you how to do that with these other pieces I already have cut out. Basically what I did was just I cut each square in half. You can see these used to be one whole piece as well. So if you wanted to just avoid the whole square thing and you're using scraps, you can just make a 4" by 8" piece. So I have 2 pieces here that are 4 inches by 8 inches, and then I have 2 pieces here that are 4 inches by 8 inches. And what I'm going to do is carefully lay them on top of each other. I have the slit for this one going vertically. When you're laying these other pieces on top, you can't have it the same direction. In order to have the unique fold created, you have to lay them opposite. So I'm going to lay the yellow ones on top of it going horizontal. Basically, we're just going to put some glue in like a little 2 by 2 inch square. That's like halfway down, and then, yeah. So I'm just going to show you here. Oops. And it doesn't have to be perfect because it's not going to be seen. It just needs to be able to hold it all together. And I did some cute little X's there. Okay, so as you can see there, I have my vertical line and then 4 squares of glue just in the corners, okay? So now we're going to lay the yellow pieces on top. And again, we have to have the line, the slit going horizontally. By like trying to keep these in place, you're going to lay this on top. And it might not run, it might not like go tip to tip like exactly because, well, we cut them in half, you know. But you can always cut the edges at the end if you want. And then, so I'm kind of pressing that down a bit. And then I'm going to do this one. So again, I kind of have a little bit of room there. So I'll probably go back and cut that edge off because I want these to kind of be nice. So there's that. This side will open kind of like that. This side opens like this. So now we get to the fun part of actually like creating it, okay? So I'm kind of like making the folds. This can kind of be interesting. So I'm just gonna kind of show you. You open it up, and again, you might have some glue. It's kind of hanging out a little bit. You can always rub that off. So I'm gonna kind of press this down, making sure that these tips right here line up really nicely. So this is kind of like the first page of your little card. So this is like your cover. And you open it up and it looks like that. And as you like fold this more and more and you like open it more and more, it's going to create the creases a little bit nicer. If you have some tape that's kind of lingering over here, you can kind of like, or some glue, I guess, you can kind of like peel it off. And then the next fold that we're going to do for the second page comes from this center slit here. So you're always opening from the slits. And this one is a little bit tricky. This may not be totally correct because I guess I didn't do the tape exactly the same. So it might not close and open perfectly, but that's okay. I think your spouse will forgive you for it, or whoever you're giving the card to. And then, okay, so I'm gonna actually go back to the beginning to how it was. You can start seeing there's gonna be lines that are created around here and lines that are there. That's just like how it is. So front, second page, or first page, second page. And then the last page is really easy because we've already created all the folds pretty much. It's just that. You just kind of have to go through it a couple times and kind of smooth out some edges. You can rub off some of the glue again. And there you have it. But the thing to remember is that depending on where you put embellishments on these other sides, it could show up on the other side. So if I put stuff over here to kind of work with this first page, it's gonna show up on this side because these are visible right here. You know, I can always put stuff up here, whatever. You just kind of have to play with it and make sure that it's gonna work out. But there you have it, the cool, unique folding card.